Hey All-Stars! Welcome to English class. So we are currently reading To Kill a Mockingbird, and several of you have already finished the novel, and if you are following the pacing guide, you'll actually finish it this week sometime. But today we're only going to be discussing the first 15 chapters of the book. And one of the big things that we see throughout the novel is this idea of being able to really understand someone else who is different from ourselves. And in chapter 3, Atticus says the quote right here on the board, "You never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view, until you climb into his skin and you walk around in it." Now, this is something that Scout doesn't really understand at the beginning of the novel. However, she does start to understand it and kind of grapple with it through the course of the novel, through her relationships with Boo Radley and through different situations, just watching the trial of Tom Robinson and things like that. The ability to see things from someone else's point of view and to really understand their perspective is what we would call empathy, being able to empathize with someone, being able to understand their perspective and understand their experience. It's a very, very mature thing to be able to do. But as 8th graders, I feel like it's something you probably have encountered at this point. So, my bell ringer question for you today is to think of a time you had to consider things from someone else's point of view. Who was that person? And what did you discover when you considered things from their viewpoint? So think of a time, take some time right now to think about a time when you really had to evaluate a situation from someone else's point of view so that you could better understand them or better understand why they were doing what they were doing. Who was that person, and what did you really discover when you tried to see things from their perspective? After you've considered those things and you have a specific instance in mind, I'd like you to put your name on yes if you have a story you can share, or no if you've never experienced empathy before. I hope everyone has at this point in your life had a situation in which you really had to evaluate someone else's viewpoint. So I hope we don't have a lot of no's. But if you have a situation that you can specifically think of, move your name to yes, and if no, move your name to no.